Hey everyone, my name is Cheyenne. Thank you so much for joining us today. Today we're going to be talking about a story found in Genesis chapter 3 about when sin entered the world. Sin is a big deal to God, and even though it may look good to us, sin is always a trap. Through God's Spirit living inside of us, we have the power to overcome that trap. That's why today we're saying, every day I make choices that honor Jesus.
Jesus makes me laugh. Jesus makes me sing. Jesus makes me dance. That's why I love Jesus. That's why I love Jesus. That's why I love Jesus. That's why I love Jesus.
Greater is He. Hey, greater is He that is in me. Nothing is ever gonna stop us. This world will never overtake us. 'Cause we've got power in Jesus. He won, evil is defeated. Come on. Hey, greater is He. Hey, greater is He that is in me. Hey, greater is He. Hey, greater is He that is in me. No one is greater than, no one is bigger than, no one is stronger than. Hey! No one is greater than, no one is bigger than, no one is stronger than. Come on! No one is greater
to take some time right now to watch a Bible story together. Like I said before, today we're going to be looking at the story of when sin entered the world. Let's check it out.
In the beginning, God created everything. He made the bright sun to shine during the day and the mysterious moon to glow at night. He shaped the earth with his bare hands. He covered its surface with glistening waters. He caused towering mountains to sprout from the ground and then laid a bed of soft grass across the land. He made the graceful birds in the sky and the colorful fish in the sea. Everything God made was perfect, but not everything was created equal. His best and most favorite of all was his last creation, Adam and Eve. And because God loved them so much, he made a special home just for them, a place called the Garden of Eden. Everything on earth was perfect, but perfection wouldn't last forever. As they were walking together in the garden one evening, God said to Adam, "Do you see all of these trees in the garden? I made them just for you. You can eat from any tree that you choose, except one. There's a tree in the middle of the garden that I don't want you to eat from, the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. If you choose to eat its fruit, then you will surely die." As Eve was taking a walk in the garden, Satan, disguised as a snake, slithered up to Eve and quietly whispered in her ear, "Did God really say you mustn't eat from any tree in the garden?" Eve quickly replied, "No, we may eat from the trees, just not from the tree in the middle of the garden. If we eat from that tree, we will die." The clever serpent hissed back, "Surely you will not die. God knows that if you eat from it, your eyes will be open to see good and evil. With just one bite, you will know everything and be just like him." Satan's tricky words consumed Eve's heart. She thought, "Just one little bite won't hurt anyone, right? It's just one piece of fruit. If God really does love me, then why wouldn't he want me to have it?" Eve reached out toward the tree and snatched the fruit from the branch, and then, hesitantly, she opened her mouth and took a bite. To her surprise, she did not die. In fact, the fruit was good to taste, so she took it to her husband. Adam knew in his heart he should not do it, but he chose to disobey God, and he ate the forbidden fruit. The very moment Adam took a bite of the fruit, everything changed. Suddenly the air felt dark and heavy, and there was an odd clenching in Adam's chest. Adam and Eve both felt something that they had never felt before. They felt wrong, and for the first time in their lives, they were afraid. Later that day, God came to spend time with them, like he did every day. When he didn't find them, he cried out, "Adam, where are you?" Adam nervously replied, "We heard you coming and we got scared, so we hid in the bushes." God knew exactly what had happened, so he asked, "Adam, have you eaten from the tree I told you not to eat from?" Adam cried out, "It was her," pointing his finger at Eve. She made me do it." God turned to Eve. "What is this that you have done, Eve?" She replied, The snake made me do it." God's heart was broken. He knew that his perfect creation was no longer perfect. He knew they would feel hurt, they would feel fear, and eventually they would even die. With great pain in his heart, God cast Adam and Eve out of the garden, and they would never be able to walk with him on the earth again. When Adam disobeyed God, he brought sin into the world. One man messed it all up, but through God's plan, one man would fix everything.
Adam and Eve fell into the trap that Satan put in front of them. They chose to go their own way instead of God's way, and that sin changed everything. But God is so amazing because immediately he had a plan to fix everything. Our friend, Pastor Cameron, is going to be talking to us a little bit more about our story right now. So let's take a look.
How many of you know what this is? Right, it's a mouse trap. Well, this is a rat trap, but same concept. The way a rat trap works is you pull this metal bar back, You click this pin into place, then you place a little bit of cheese on it for bait. Then you stick it where you know a pesky old rat's gonna be. Now, when the rat sees this piece of cheese, he gets so focused on the cheese that he doesn't even notice the trap that he's stepping right into until it's too late. This is pretty much the same thing that happened to Adam and Eve. The serpent came and tempted them, and they ate the fruit. What? The serpent actually did a pretty good job framing this up as a good idea. He was all, "Hey Eve, over here, yeah I know, talking snakes, pretty crazy, right? Hey listen, all you have to do is eat fruit from this tree and you'll be like God." So Eve had a choice to make. She could trust that God knew what was best for her, or she could eat a piece of fruit and be like God. We all know which decision she chose. Probably seemed like a good idea at the time, but that one decision that Adam and Eve made to go their own way instead of God's way wrecked everything. And some of us may think, I would never have done what Adam and Eve did. Even if it did seem like a good idea, it was obviously a bad choice. But we do this all the time. We get focused on the cheese. That thing that seems like a good idea at the time, but ultimately is nothing more than turning our back on God. It's called sin. Sin is when we choose to go our way instead of God's way. So, just like the rat, we see something that we know is wrong, then we do it anyway, and then we die. But just like in our story, dying doesn't always mean physical death. When Adam and Eve died, they were still living physically, but they were separated from God. You see, that's what sin does. It separates us from God, our source of life. This is why we say that sin is a trap, because the cost of sin is death. But God knew that we would choose to go our own way instead of his way, so he had a plan. He would send his own son, Jesus, to live a life free from sin. Then, Jesus would willingly place himself into the trap that we found ourselves in and die in our place, paying the price for our sin. He paid the price so that we wouldn't have to. Now we don't have to be separated from God because we sinned. That sin was paid for. Now we can have a relationship with him. Not only that, but when we follow Jesus, we get to have his spirit living on the inside of us. And that spirit gives us the power to live like Jesus lived, free from sin. With God's spirit living inside of us, we have the power to make choices that honor Jesus.
God is so good, and he loves us so much. Our response should be to show our love for him by making choices that honor him. So what's one choice that you will make this week to show honor to Jesus? I would encourage you to talk with your family about that question. Then, don't stop there. Whatever you talked about, make sure you do it this week. Remember, every day we should make choices that honor Jesus. That's it for this week. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.